Hello, beautiful people, animal lovers. Today we're going to hear from Manta. What a beautiful message of flow, infinite potential, and now. Manta ray. Manta ray glides through the vast ocean with wings of purpose. One of the most graceful, peaceful, and fluid creatures to behold, she is here today to show us that we can better flow in our bodies, environments, and family systems. Watching Manta maneuver in our minds, enter a state of trance. We feel a sense of calm and our breathing becomes rhythmic. Most of his movements are purposeful. He is moving forward with a goal in mind. Manta is here to share the space between dream and awake with us, a state where we can exist between energy and matter, where we can deconstruct the old clunky weight of the past and materialize a fresher, lighter, and more authentic future. Stingray exists in the now, fluid, magical moment of now. The present is a treasure, pregnant with infinite possibility when we are aware of it. In this spirit, we can be mesmerized and at ease, floating in space-time of the cosmic ocean. We can let our old stories, past traumas, and triggers dissolve. As Stingray soars through the waters, he can maneuver in any direction with elegance, demonstrating we have infinite potential when we are in alert and in flow. When we consider Manta's liquid existence as metaphor for our emotional mind, we can better grasp the magnitude of our inner workings and how overthinking, reanalyzing, and mindless chatter can overtake our day. The huge sea of our mind can be our prison or a magnificent, eternal adventure grounds. This creature shows us that we can navigate our emotions with clarity and joy that comes from within. When we are clear and loving, the waters of our mind are a crystalline reflection of us. Things manifest in dreamy and surreal ways with Stingray's essence. In this awake time, pay attention to your rhythms and movements. Focus your attention on the now. Open your senses and embrace the flow. With serenity in your interactions, your exercise, your projects, and even your mundane chores. As you glide into dream time with the wings of Manta, let your body become weightless. Listen to your heartbeat. Sync your breath with her flight and her waves. Let it rise and fall deeply and fully. Take full advantage of the rare and powerful state between asleep and awake. Ask beautiful questions, create clear intentions, and send out wonderful energy in this precious present moment. Manta medicine. I can enter a state of centered grace and peace at any time. I am one with my breath and the rhythms of my body. I am purposeful with my movement, actions, and language. I swim in my life with ease and constant release of my past so I may live freely. My heart is filled with calm and I recognize the infinite potential that is always surrounding me. My full attention is on my inner yes and my now. So please enjoy Manta's message today. Bring it into your heart. Be in flow, see your infinite potential, and be present in your now. Thank you. Good morning, beauties. Today we hear from Manta. What a perfect creature to listen to for our Sunday sermon. I hope everyone's having beautiful holidays. We are definitely in the midst of a lot of sugar over here. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Buzz. A lot of sleeping in, a lot of getting off our healthy rituals, and but being in flow with that, being good with that. And last night when I was winding down, and often I do that with oracle cards. Lately, of course, it's been a lot of the animal cards. And I was feeling into what would be a beautiful message for us to hear right now. And Manta kind of actually just fell out. I was moving the cards around and Manta fell out. And as I read the message last night and this morning, I feel it could not be a more poignant and perfect medicine to utilize. So for our Sunday sermon, we are going to hear from this amazing, graceful creature. And let's see, it's December 27th. I'm like out of time and space right now. I kind of usually am. Because when we're present, we lose track of everything else. And that is a lot of times the state that we're all trying to get back to. Dropping the racing thoughts, letting go of everything that's in the mind, and just being perfectly right now. And Manta is all about flow, infinite potential, and now. So we have the sun moving back. And one of the things I found in common with both Manta and the sun is this beautiful, graceful, rhythmic flow. We can actually watch things that are in rhythm in order to get into a state of trance. And the state of trance is important for many reasons, which we can get into. But watching a manta fly through the water, so rhythmic, so purposeful, it just brings your heart and mind into cohesion, and your breath sometimes matches it. And this is all this beautiful flow trance state that people pay big money learning how to attain to get into that. Corporations spend millions and billions figuring out ways that their team can be in flow. So we'll talk more about that too, but it's just so cool how right now we're all paying much more attention to the ultimate rhythm in our solar system, in our lives, which is our sun. Watching, it will always rise and it will always fall in this beautiful rhythm, the circular rhythm, as it kind of moves across the horizon over the course of the year and then back. And I think this year, because we're all paying a bit more attention to our internal state, we're more in touch with these rhythms and systems again, and getting back a bit into the way it maybe once was, or not maybe, what it once was for sure, where we know when to move based on the sun and the moon. We know when to plant. We know when to mark our celebrations by when to prepare for what. It's a pretty interesting time, and we have our new year upon us, our calendar new year, so a time of purpose and goal setting. So let's hear from Manta, and then talk about some of the medicine that she provides. Manta ray glides through the vast oceans with wings of purpose. One of the most graceful, peaceful, and fluid creatures to behold, she is here today to show us we can better flow in our bodies, environments, and family systems. Watching Manta maneuver, our minds enter a state of trance. We feel a sense of calm and our breathing becomes rhythmic. Most of his movements are purposeful. He is moving forward with a goal in mind. Manta is here to share the space between dream and awake with us. A state where we can exist between energy and matter, where we can deconstruct the old, chunky, weighty past and then materialize a fresher, lighter, more authentic future. Stingray exists in the now, a magical, fluid moment. The present is a treasure, pregnant with infinite possibility when we are aware of it. In this spirit, we can be mesmerized and at ease. floating in space-time above the cosmic ocean. We can let our old stories, past traumas, and triggers dissolve. As Stingray soars through the waters, he can maneuver in any direction with elegance, demonstrating we have infinite potential when we are alert and in flow. When we consider Manta's liquid existence as a metaphor for our emotional mind, we can better grasp the magnitude of our inner workings and how overthinking, reanalyzing, and mindless chatter can overtake our day. The huge sea of our mind can be our prison or our magnificent eternal adventure grounds. This creature shows us that we can navigate our emotions with clarity and joy that comes from within. When we are clear and loving, the waters of our mind are crystal reflections of us. Things manifest in dreamy and surreal ways with Stingray's essence. In this awake time, pay attention to our rhythms and movements. Focus our attention on the now. Open your senses and embrace this flow. With your intention and attention to your thoughts, body, and surrounding space, bring a serenity to your interactions, your exercise, your projects, and even your mundane chores. As you glide into dream time on the wings of Manta, let your body become weightless. Listen to your heartbeat. Sync your breath with her flight and the waves. Let it rise and fall fully and deeply. Take advantage of this rare and powerful state between asleep and awake. Ask beautiful questions and create clear intentions and send out wonderful energy in this precious present moment. Manta Medicine. I can enter a state of centered grace and peace at any time. I am one with my breath and the rhythms of my body. I am purposeful with my movements, actions, and language. I swim in my life with ease and constant release of my past so I may live freely. My heart is filled with calm and I recognize the infinite potential that is always surrounding me. My full attention is on my inner yes and my now. Oh, I kind of feel like taking a nap right now. So Manta Ray, we hear a lot more now about the state of flow. And I know we would like to understand it better. And also, I think we're all hoping for a real decisive shift in flow with the calendar new year. And it might be more of a slow transition or hopefully a gentle transition than we're looking for. I'm hoping for graceful, not counting on it, but that would be lovely. And of course, what's the one thing we can do is have our personal transitions be graceful. That's actually what we have control over. So let's talk about flow. So to be clear, when are we in flow? It's kind of becoming just a buzzword now. But it's that state, when people drop into I've heard musicians or jazz musicians say dropping into the pocket, or when you're on a team and a whole team, like a whole basketball team, suddenly is they're in a groove. They just the zone. They talk at the zone. A lot of times when sports related, it's called the zone, and when everything comes together, it's gelling. Everything suddenly it turns from a solid, and it's not a thought. It's this middle thing. It's like a plasma, and everyone is just dropped into it. And I think we've all had those times. Some of us, through cultivation, can get it more than others, where I'm going to call it you're joined with Source. You can call it God. You can call it the infinite. You can call it quiet. At least your mind's not just jabbering constantly, where all your focus, everything else, disappears. And so this can happen. Some people, when they're doing equations in math and calculating, everything else disappears, and maybe they see stars or this cosmic abacus. I've had it happen while I was creating with other people. So there are people where you don't even need to talk with. You're putting something together. It doesn't even need to be something, artsy. but you're creating something, and you're each reaching for different tools, and you're each holding different things, and all of a sudden you're like, where were we? We were in this flow, and now we have this beautiful thing. Love making is a beautiful way, whether it's with yourself or a partner, where you let everything else disappear, and this is the whole universe. This is the whole now. Music, dancing is a super great one, right? Where even if you're not dancing, if you're all listening to the same music, and we know the magic of singing. We sang Christmas carols, Zoom Christmas carols with Dad and my sister and my brother and the whole family, and that was great because you're all in the same. I mean, you're having different experiences, but you're in this same groove. You're in this same. You're singing. You have music. So this is another way where you can drop in and be in the flow. So you can do it solo, you can do it in partnerships, you can do it in groups. And it's all about getting into that beautiful state of trance, getting into that beautiful state of focus, and being present just right now. There's a book, it's one of my favorite books. I think I've listened to it twice, and Stealing Fire. It's called Stealing Fire. I'll put it in the notes. And it's an amazing book, and they use all the new terms, but what's cool is they are studying, because it's a multi-billion-dollar industry now, ways to get into flow. And so, we have those. How do we do that individually? It's the things, right? It's the breath, it's meditation, exercise, all these different ways of cultivating things. And then you have your partnerships. How, can you do that? And then in this book, the two large groups that they study that can be very successful at this, by spending billions of dollars and by really cultivating it, would be they study the Navy SEALs and they study Google. And it's truly amazing when people are working together and leaving the differences aside, leaving the stories aside, leaving the past aside, and truly in the now, what amazing things can happen. So trying to think, we're not all Navy SEALs and we don't all work at Google, but I know my favorite example of group flow, and I'll try and do this a little bit of justice, but so at Burning Man, as the sun sets, and it is also during the day, but it's this amazing event that doesn't happen. Almost no one crashes. And at night, as the sun sets, all the lights come up. So you have everything from actual fire, you have, but much of the art is moving. And huge things, you've got sculptures standing still, but you've got all these vehicles moving. And then you have probably at any given time, at least 30,000 bicycles moving. And no one ever runs into each other. A lot of people haven't slept in days. A lot of people are, utilizing different medicines. But there's just this, no one necessarily slows down or speeds up. It's just this beautiful web of light where everyone's in the same frequency, kind of in the same mode. And everyone's having their individual experience, and some are probably having traumas. But it's just this network of, it looks kind of like a brain or a huge galaxy, because it's kind of pancaked out. And all these stars moving around, and it's very much like, I haven't seen it because it takes 1 billion years, but when galaxies collide, they actually don't collide. Most of them just pass through each other, and then of course the gravities have to work out what happens after. But it's this beautiful state that more than just you can be in. So it's proof to me. It's one example of how we all have this internal, manta. Yet when we're all flowing together, we are in control of our manta. And we can flow with everyone. Despite everything going on, the hardships, we can return in this way to what I will just call source. You can call it the force, you can call it the light, you can call it rest, tranquility. But it's a truly amazing place to be. And why do we do that? Of course, it's because if we can tap into our own potential and our own joy, we're more creative, we're more purposeful, we're more peaceful, and really that's the point of all this. Studies show, we got to throw this in there, of course, it's the morning, the very early morning, that it's best to do this. So I know I've re-upped my rituals in the morning. It's really easier for me to do in the winter, and it doesn't take long. It's just some breath, and so I loved this manta this morning. It definitely, I just feel kind of like the waves and the return of the sun, and this tapping back into our infinite potential. So we have New Year's this week, and this is always classic time for us to set our intentions and set our goals. And so maybe this week, if you do that, ask yourself how your goals have changed. I was talking about this. My brother is here with us. We're having a great holiday, and I like, my goals used to be so physical. They used to be like really obvious. And that was good for me. I needed to see progress. I needed to, okay, this marathon, or this physical thing that I will accomplish, or this place I want to travel. But over the years, I've noticed it's more about the feeling that I want. And so starting with that center feeling, which is joy, bliss, and then all the branches that come back to feed that center, that heart center. And of course, yes, okay, let's have some goals related to currency. Let's have some goals related to health. Let's have some goals related to travel. But it all feeds back to this beautiful purpose in our center. So probably there'll be lots of them. There'll be lots of, I have few priorities, many goals, and I think this new year, this calendar new year, it would be a neat challenge for us to just say, how can I be more Manta? How can I dedicate time to introducing these flow states daily into my life, and paying attention really to now, not letting the thoughts creep in that have no purpose and only destroy us. Let's focus on our now. So happy New Year, everyone. I hope everyone's having a great holiday, and let's all take our Manta medicine.